An eerie black fog descended, blanketing the world. Global water sources were instantly contaminated. In an age where a single drop of clean water was a treasure, I was leisurely soaking in a hot bath. This was all because I was a die-hard supporter of a certain vlogger, an act that had awakened my infinite resource system. With the system online, a bottle of pure, uncontaminated mineral water materializes for me every single second. It all began just a dozen hours ago. The strange black fog had appeared without warning, enveloping the entire planet in the blink of an eye. The vast majority of the world's water was instantly corrupted by an unknown bacteria. And if anyone dares to drink the contaminated water, they either suffer from violent vomiting and diarrhea, a torment that leaves them half dead, or they drop dead on the spot. The only things that remain even remotely safe to consume are the food and water that were well preserved or tightly sealed, those that avoided prolonged exposure to the black fog. As a result, the value of clean food and water is skyrocketing. And just a moment ago, a rich kid in our year offered $500 in the group chat for a single bottle of mineral water, but no one was selling. I rose to my feet and walked over to the window. Wiping a grimy hand across the filthy glass, I cleared a small patch to peer down below. The once bustling campus paths, usually teeming with the vibrant energy of youth, were now completely swallowed by a roiling black smog. The fog was as thick and dark as ink, churning and rising, obscuring everything from sight. Fortunately, the eerie black fog stopped its advance at the 5th floor, still a short distance from my own apartment on the 6th. A wave of relief washed over Miles Corbin. If he hadn't come down with a fever yesterday, forcing him to stay back and rest in his dorm, he'd probably be trapped just like his roommates, stuck in a lecture hall or somewhere else on campus. He'd heard what happened to people who breathed in the eerie black fog. It didn't kill you, not right away. Instead, it triggered a maddening, unquenchable thirst. If you couldn't find water, you would literally die of dehydration in just a few hours. Under normal circumstances, a person could survive a couple of days without water, pushing through on sheer willpower. But the fog rewrote the rules. After breathing it in, 5 or 6 hours without a drink was a death sentence. Still, even if the fog did creep its way up to his floor, Miles wasn't panicking. He had more water than he could ever drink. Just a little over 10 hours ago, a crisp, pleasant, yet mysterious voice suddenly rang in his ear. Congratulations, you have unlocked the infinite resource system. Currently unlocked resource, Master Yi Mineral Water. Host, please work to unlock more resources. Each new resource type unlocked will grant a +1 per second bonus for that item. Congratulations, you have unlocked an infinite-sized system storage. All acquired resources will be automatically deposited into your system storage. You may withdraw or deposit items at will. Your system storage currently contains 55,165 bottles of Master Yi mineral water. What shocked Shen Yi even more was that the number was still ticking upwards at a rate he could literally see. It was increasing by 1 bottle every single second. 1 bottle a second was 60 bottles a minute. 3,600 an hour. That added up to a staggering 86,400 bottles a day. The sheer quantity was beyond imagination. It was more than enough for drinking. He could even afford to bathe in it every day and not run out. With such a game-breaking cheat ability, Shen Yi had no need to worry about water. But water alone wasn't enough. To survive long-term in this perilous apocalypse, he had to unlock more types of resources. The key to doing that, the system had explained, was sheltering survivors. For every survivor he took in who met the system's criteria, he would unlock a completely new resource. He hadn't found anyone who qualified yet, but Shen Yi was confident. His university campus had tens of thousands of students. Even if only a third of them were women, and only 1% of them met the system standard, that was still more than enough people to unlock a steady stream of new supplies. And if he unlocked even one more resource, at a rate of 1 per second, he'd have more than enough to live like a king. Help! Oh God, somebody help me! The desperate cry shot up from downstairs, only to be cut short by a blood-curdling scream. A moment later, a deafening boom shook the entire building. It sounded like a giant was trying to hammer the house to pieces. Another crash followed, and then another. The thunderous impact so powerful, they made Miles Corbin's eardrums ache. The sudden violence made him flinch. Heart pounding, he scrambled to the window and peered down into the chaos below. He saw a young man trembling violently, his hands gripping the railing so hard his knuckles had gone white. His face was a mask of pure terror. His eyes blown wide as he stared at his own dorm room as if he had just witnessed something horrific. Not far from where the young man stood, from what had once been an ordinary flower pot, a dormant beast now seemed to awaken. Countless vines erupted from the soil, surging outwards at an alarming speed. They were like grotesque, writhing pythons, scrambling madly up the wall and leaving glistening, sticky trails of slime in their wake. In the dim light, the sight was profoundly unsettling. But what was truly horrifying, what made the hairs on his arms stand up, was what was growing on the vines. Bulbous spheres, disturbingly like eyeballs, sprouted from the tendrils. And as if they possessed a life of their own, each one began to turn slowly, deliberately, scanning the room, sprouting bulbous spheres that looked disturbingly like eyeballs. Each orb, as if possessing a life of its own, began to turn slowly, deliberately, glowing with a sickly, eerie green light. "What the hell is that thing?" Miles Corbin muttered under his breath. A chill of pure dread washed over him, and he instinctively took a few steps back, a slight tremor running through him. Just then, a series of shrill, piercing screams shattered the oppressive, terrifying atmosphere. The terrified cries were coming from the women's dormitory across the way. The university was old, with residence halls built decades ago and packed close together. They were so close that even with the thick black fog swirling between the buildings, Miles could still vaguely make out the girls' dorm directly opposite his own. He couldn't make out exactly what was happening over there, what was causing the screams. Could it be the same as the guy downstairs? He wondered. Had they run into one of those mutated things, too? Miles slammed the window shut and locked it. He immediately grabbed his phone, his fingers flying as he pulled up his group chats, desperately searching for information. After scrolling through a few different groups, he found it. The screen of his phone lit up with a stream of frantic messages. Wyatt, Foreign Languages, Room 201. Holy shit. Wyatt, Foreign Languages, Room 201. Finn, my roommate. He was eaten. By his fucking cactus. Chloe, Literature, Room 203. What are you even talking about? Chloe, Literature, Room 203. That might be the weirdest sentence I've ever read. Zeke, Athletics, Room 101. Dude, what happened? Give us the details. Wyatt, Foreign Languages, Room 201. It's a monster. The cactus is a monster. It's worse than something from a movie. Somebody help me. Wyatt, Foreign Languages, Room 201, shared a video. Miles's thumb hit the link the second it appeared. The footage was a chaotic, shaky mess, clearly filmed in a panic, but he could still make out what was happening. On the screen, a writhing mass of vines, covered in those same grotesque, eyeball-like spheres, spilled from a single potted plant, choking the entire dorm room. And in the center of it all, a lifeless body was being dragged, pulled into a gaping maw that had split open at the creature's base. Miles could just barely make out its original form, a cactus. Somehow, it had mutated, swelling to a monstrous size, its appearance grotesquely altered. It had grown something that looked like a mouth, and it was feeding. The scene was bloody, brutal, and utterly horrifying. Zeke, Athletics, Room 101. Holy shit. Zeke, Athletics, Room 101. What the fuck is that thing? Is this some kind of movie shoot? The chat exploded with question marks and messages of disbelief. People started tagging Wyatt, asking if he was okay, but he never replied. A heavy feeling settled in Miles Corbin's gut. That long silence could only mean one thing. Wyatt was gone. The mutated cactus he'd seen was on the 3rd or 4th floor, a good distance away from his own room on the 6th. For the moment, he was relatively safe, but he needed to prepare. That meant either finding a new, more secure place to hide, or finding a weapon to defend himself. Just as Miles was about to exit the group chat, another video popped up. This one showed a tall guy with blue lightning crackling and arcing around his hands. With a flick of his wrist, he sent a bolt of it shooting out like a bullet, tearing straight through an empty soda can. The group chat exploded again. Leo, Athletics, Room 205. All right, listen up everyone. If you need a safe place, get to me. I can carry the whole school. These freaky plants are nothing to worry about. Zeke, Athletics, Room 101. WTF? Is that special effects? Or are those actual powers? You sure this isn't fake? Leo, Athletics, Room 205. It's not VFX. To prove his point, Leo posted another video. Lightning danced in the palm of his hand, confirming that his ability was very, very real. Zeke, Athletics, Room 101. Holy shit. Leo, you're a legend. You've actually got superpowers? Are you like the main character or something? Dude, let me team up with you. Chloe, Literature, Room 203. OMG, Leo, you're amazing. Add me. Wyatt, Foreign Languages, Room 301. Count me in. +1. The chat was a blur of messages, all begging for the protection of the guy with superpowers. Miles watched the video, a knot of shock and intense envy tightening in his stomach. He had the system, which meant he never had to worry about supplies like food and water. But the one thing he desperately lacked, the one thing that truly mattered right now, was the power to protect himself. But having power and having supplies were two very different things. What good is an infinite stockpile of food and water if I can't defend it? He thought, a grim realization settling in. Other people are out there getting guns, getting powers, and I'm hoarding water bottles. I'm not preparing to survive. I'm just turning myself into a loot drop for someone who is. His mind raced, trying to connect the dots. How were people getting these abilities? Was it like his system, something that simply awakened when the world went to hell? Or was his resource generator something different entirely? Was there another way to get powers like that? He scrolled back through the chat history, meticulously rereading every message, hunting for any clue or scrap of information that might give him an answer. And just like that, another day bled away. The official rescue channels remained silent. Help wasn't coming.